Okay, we're live. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction, and I share my life with you. Step on in, pull up a seat. Welcome to the Monday night step study meeting with Nicole from Real Talk Recovery. Yeah, that's me. That's me. Okay, guys. So I think about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, we went over and we were doing step one, which is we admitted we were powerless over drugs and alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Okay, so today we're going to talk all about step two. Let me get myself in the right area. Hey Lou, hey Melissa. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find where I'm supposed to be at, but I'm a hot mess express today. Okay, step two.
What do you mean?
Hot mess express. Okay. Hey guys, hey guys, hey. Hey Chrissy. What's up, baby girl? Hey Tira. What's up? I'm so glad you're here. I'm actually doing a step study. Okay, so I'm in chapter 5, page 58. Chapter 5, page 58, how it works.
Is
So
it 558?
Chapter 5, how it works, page 58.
I thought 58 was 558.
No, 58 is 58. Hey Avalon. Okay, let's get this show on the road. Y'all ready? Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Not halfway followed the path, not sometimes followed the path, thoroughly. Okay? Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. There are such unfortunates. Okay, let's stop right there. Okay, you remember how we had Andrew on like two weeks ago, and his book was titled Such Unfortunates? That's where that came from, just so y'all know. So anyway, just a little tidbit. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. So just now, before we even get through the page, we already have two words, too honest, too honest. So let's keep an honesty counter. Their chances are less than average. There are those too who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. We're on number 3. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. If you have decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. Sorry. At some of these we balked. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, and powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. Okay? So let's stop right there. Is the audio off? Hello? 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 Is that better?
What, Mom? What are you even saying right now?
I'm making sure. Hey, Pebbles. Hey, Amy. I don't know. Honestly, you guys, I don't know why it's off, but it might be because I'm going through. It might be because I'm on Streamlabs. What? You're not? Okay, you've ran it down to the damn. You've ran the battery down till it's gone, huh?
Mom,
Lord help us.
Mom, I can't hold both of these. Eat it up there.
We'll eat it right there, and then you can go upstairs. It's better now? Okay, good. So here we go. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Oh, yeah, it says, but there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. Okay, so this is where we're at. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Okay, so that's what we talked about last time we did a step study. We talked about step 1, we talked about powerlessness, we talked about surrender. Okay, we've also talked about step 1 yesterday when we were talking about the the steps to getting sober was to admit that you have a problem, because you can't fix anything if you don't acknowledge that there's a problem, right? So I think, like we were talking yesterday, I feel like a lot of people get hung up on the first step because they're not ready to come to they're not ready to come to the conclusion or the realization that their addiction is ruling their life, and they're still in denial, still justifying and rationalizing, the choices and the things that they're doing in active addiction, thinking that they will somehow get control over it. I know me from personal experience, I, for so long, thought I was going to be able to find this magic combination of how to get high without having negative consequences. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I would think that if I could just do Xanaxes and not shoot dope, then I would be all right. Maybe I wouldn't catch a charge. But I think that we all go through that denial stage of our addiction, where we're just not ready to admit that we have a problem. But when you finally are ready to admit that you have a problem, and you're ready to work on you and be willing enough to take suggestions, then you can start to you can start to get help. But it has to have, like, I feel like each one of us, and you guys can tell me if you have had this, right? Right. So powerlessness is like this, right? Powerlessness is, I'm powerless over drugs and alcohol when I put them in my body. Today, right now, I have the power to say no to drugs and alcohol because I'm not putting that shit in my body. The minute I put dope inside of me, everything goes out the window. I lose my whole everything goes. Powerlessness. Give me more. I can't take it, right? And I think a lot of people, when they hear like that they have to say that they're powerless, I think that they think that that's admitting, well, I mean, it's admitting that drugs and alcohol have beat your ass and that you can't do it anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that, that it doesn't mean that you're like not a strong person. It just means that you're surrendering and that you're coming to the realization that you can no longer use drugs and alcohol successfully without having negative consequences. Okay? Because we can all go out and get high, right? I can go out and get high today if I want to. You can go out and get high today if you want to. All right? The thing about it is can I go out and get high today without losing everything in my life? You know what I'm saying? As drug addicts who have we've went the extra mile on everything, we have lost the luxury of being able to go out and partake in having a glass of wine or snorting a line of cocaine, if you want to consider it a luxury. You know what I'm saying? Um, I feel like, you know what happened? I got to a point, hold on, it's so damn hot down here. Woo! Let me open this door. Let me open this door and let me lower this heat. Okay. Woo! Okay, sorry about that. I was like burning up, y'all. I feel like for me, what happened is I got to the point where the consequences that I was experiencing from my drug addiction were so great that I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't want to lose everything I had. I didn't want to lose my son, you know? Um, Tell me what you guys think. So when you're in your active addiction, if you didn't have negative consequences, would you have stopped getting high? Think about this. Think about this. If your life didn't start hitting shit didn't start hitting the fan, would you have stopped getting high? If getting high, if you didn't have negative consequences from getting high, would you still be doing heroin? Would you still be tooting lines of meth? Let me tell you this. If I didn't have any negative consequences, it would have never woke me up to realize that I had to make a change. Do you understand what I'm saying? I what happened was what had happened was um I felt like I was untouchable for so many years, and I was getting high and I was getting high. It wasn't until like I started experiencing like losses, losing my child, losing my home, losing my car, losing my driver's license, losing my freedom. Then that's when I realized like this isn't something I want to keep doing for the rest of my life, you know? I don't want to keep losing at life. You know, I don't want to lose everything I have, and I don't want my family to be ashamed of me, you know? Um, that was I remember riding around with my dad, and he would pick me up from the halfway house when I lived up here in Little Rock. He'd pick me up from the halfway house, and it was like we're going to like um, Christmas dinner or something, right? Exactly. That's what I mean, Daniel. Me too. If I could get high without feeling like shit, without hating my own guts, without getting arrested, without losing my son, I'd still be getting high. Because it was the feeling produced by drugs and alcohol is so elusive. It's so euphoric. And it even talks about it in this book, you guys. There you go. Now we're getting honest. Now we're getting honest. Okay, that's what I was saying. I was waiting for y'all to catch up with me. Yeah, we would still be getting high. The feeling produced by drugs is like and alcohol is so elusive, so strong to us addicts and alcoholics that we will follow that feeling and chase that feeling into the depths of hell and death. Okay? We will chase that feeling until we can't chase it anymore. I mean, it talks about it in the big book. That's where I'm talking about that powerlessness, where alcohol and drugs are your master. And it's almost like a bad relationship. You just love him and you just can't let go. You know, so, I know because I've had plenty of those kind of relationships where the dude was beating my ass and I was chasing him down. Please don't leave me. That's what addiction is like. It's like a bad relationship. It's like an abusive ex that wants to whoop your ass every time you get near it. And then you remember, oh shit, I don't need to go around that anymore. It's going to whoop my ass every time. Okay, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Okay, so this is I think a lot of people when they hear step 2, they think, "Oh shit, this power greater than myself. What is a power greater than me?" Okay, I was hung up on this for a long time, right? We are special people. I had to lose a lot, and many times before I even looked at getting straight. Being straight is worth the losses. Yes, Russell. Welcome to my comment before. I'm glad you're here. So a power greater than ours. Okay, when they highlight when what I have underlined in my book is came to believe. Okay, so a lot of people make step 2 a lot. Okay, step 2 is just you saying I believe. And this is how my sponsor explained it to me, okay? She said, "Do you believe that I believe that you can be restored to sanity? Do you believe that I believe?" And I was like, "Yeah." I know you believe that I can get back to my healthy self, right? But I didn't believe that yet. I didn't think that I would ever be able to be free from drugs or alcohol. And when I was first starting to work the steps with my sponsor, um, it took a lot for me to put faith in somebody else believing, right? Because I had no faith in my higher power. And it's not because my higher power left me. It's not because my higher power didn't didn't care about me or didn't take care of me anymore. It's because what happened is as I got as I used drugs, the farther I got into my addiction, the more I blotted out that consciousness, that inner that inner voice, okay? All of you guys have an inner voice. All right? You might not be able to hear it, but it's there, I promise. See, this is where a lot of people get hung up and they think, oh, I have to believe in Jesus Christ. No, no. There is a God consciousness within you. There is an inner voice, okay? There's a voice that knows right from wrong. Let you know there's a voice that says, I don't need to be using these drugs, okay? Or I don't need to go to the store and steal this stuff. Or I don't need to have sex with these dudes to get this dope. Or I don't need to hold up this granny and take her purse. Okay, there's that voice. But as you go into your addiction and you keep going through forward, getting worse and worse, that voice that you had, you block it out. Okay? You block it out. You say, "Shut up, voice. I got to get this money so I can get this dope." Or, "Shut up, voice. I'm going to do what I need to do." And each time the more you get high, the more you do things that cuz when you were raised up, your mom and dad taught you right from wrong, right? You block that shit out. We were all raised up with a fundamental idea of what God is, okay? It it doesn't matter if you were like, Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, whatever you were raised up. It doesn't matter. Every person is raised up with an idea, right, of what God is. It can be anything. It can be like the universe or nature. It can be like I was saying before, like good orderly direction is what my sponsor would tell me. She would say, good orderly direction. If you don't believe in Jesus Christ, do you believe in good orderly direction? Do you believe in doing the right thing? When you're supposed to do the right thing? Do you believe in integrity? Do you believe in honesty? Do you believe in truth? Okay, that's what she would say to me. And I'm like, well, yeah, I believe in that. Because here's the thing, you guys. I was raised up hella Christian, okay? Hey, Josh, I was raised up in the pew, sleeping under the pew. Y'all hear me? Okay, I was raised up with old ladies doing back handsprings and breaking out in the speaking tongues. Okay, that's what I was raised up in the Pentecostal church. All right, I'm talking, it was like, you think a black church gets down in praise and worship? Come to a Pentecostal church. Then you'll know what praise and worship is about because it was going down. We would have revivals. They would have tents set up outside the church. It was honestly like it was crazy. Like now that I think about it, I'm like, wow, that was wild. But when I was growing up, I felt like I had a people that cared about me. And I had this like these people raised me up, like I was a little girl in the church. Daniel, yes. Yes. So that's how I was raised up. I want you guys to think about that in your mind. So I was raised up, that if heaven and hell, God is the sky that sits on a throne, and when you do bad, he tells you, you don't need to be doing bad or you're going to go to hell. Repent of your sins, okay? So when I got into my addiction, I started blocking out that voice of of my conscience, you guys, right from wrong. And the farther I got into my addiction, the easier it was for me to get away from that the right thing to do, okay? So when I started working the second step with my sponsor, she laid it out for me just as simple as day. Do you believe that I believe in you? You know? And I said yes. And so a power greater than you is your conception of whatever that is. Okay? I believe in God, okay? Hey Josh, I believe in God. I believe that my power that's greater than me is Jesus Christ, right? But that doesn't mean that you have to believe in what I believe. All right? I've even heard people who are atheist or agnostic, what they believe is that the group, like their AA group or NA group, is a power greater than themselves, okay? Because that's a bunch of people, so 10 people is a power greater than your one person, right? And so all step 2 is believing that a power greater than you can restore you to sanity. Well, Nicole, I'm not insane. What are you talking about? Well, let me just tell you something. If you're shooting drugs in your vein, you're insane. Okay, you've lost all fucking respect for yourself, and insanity, what they say in the program is insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. Where? Leroy, don't be freaking me out, dude. Josh, shut up. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, okay? So when we're in our active addiction, what are we doing? We're getting high over and over and over again, right? Thinking this time will be different. Thinking this time I won't lose my job. Or this time my old lady won't want to divorce me. This time I won't commit adultery. This time I won't overdose and end up in the hospital. And every time we just keep doing it, right? Thinking that this time will be different. Right. That's what the whole step 2 is about, Russell. It's about believing in something, okay? Because when we're in our active addiction, the only faith that we have, right, is in the dope man. We have faith enough to believe that when we reach out to our drug dealer, that he's going to answer the phone, and when we get there, he's going to have those drugs, right? Or we have faith in the dope, right? That when we get this dope, it's going to be good dope. And when we do it, it's going to do what it needs to do. We get so far away from our true selves when we're in active addiction that we're so lost. I've never met someone who was doing drugs, you guys, who was happy, who was joyous, and who was free. I never met anybody who was addicted to drugs that felt good about themselves and loved themselves. Have you? I could lie and say, oh yeah, I loved myself, I felt great. But it's a lie, because I didn't. Because if I truly loved myself, why would I put myself through such agony? Why would I do those terrible things? Why would I put myself in such compromising situations? You know, I treat complete strangers better than I treated myself in active addiction, you know? And that's the worst place to be, is sick in your active addiction. So simple, y'all. Simple. Step 2 is coming to believe. All right? Having faith. Having faith. Now, let me read y'all something else that I learned while I was in treatment. And I just happened to have these notes from when I was in rehab back in 2015. Can you believe that? Okay. Okay, so step 1 is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable, or whatever drug that you know the deal. Okay, so it says here that the value behind step 1. This step helps us shatter our reliance on a false self. Okay, so step 1 helps us shatter our reliance on ourselves, because when we were in active addiction, we relied on our own, our human selves, right? We're going to go hustle, get this money, got to get this dope, da 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 da, right? And then step two, the value behind step two is hope is an important ingredient of all healing. You cannot solve this problem alone. Okay? So the value behind step two is hope, and that you cannot solve your addiction on your own. That you need to believe and have faith that a power greater than you can restore you to sanity. Right. Isn't that, here's the thing. I also heard when I learned this too, you guys, when I was in rehab, that there was this black counselor, okay, and she was crazy as hell. Her name was Miss Kim. She had a gold tooth right here and it had a K in it. She was so, this was like the gangsterest ex-crack smoker I've ever met in my life, okay? But her name was Miss Kim. And she used to tell us, we would have our IOP meetings and we would all be sitting there talking and stuff. Then she would get in there, she would get to teaching us about recovery, and she would tell us all the time, if y'all would put as much effort into your recovery as you did out there hustling for that dope, then we would all stay sober, right? We would all be getting our lives together. But just like anything, we don't want to put the effort. We don't want to put the work into our recovery. We're not willing to take suggestions to make changes, right? But when we were getting high, we were willing to go to any lengths to get that dope. So are you willing to go to any lengths to get your sobriety today? Really ask yourself that. Okay? I'm telling you guys, I can tell you stories about Miss Kim, and she had a Kardashian booty before Kardashians even knew what booty was. I mean, this lady was. One day I'll go and find her because she still works around here, and we'll get her to like come on the channel or something. But Miss Kim, and she always had so much faith in me that I would get sober and that I would do something different with my life. And I would relapse and relapse and relapse. I'm going to tell you all this right now. I saw her 3 months ago in Walmart, and I said, Miss Kim. And I said, it's me, Nicole DeMayo. And she stopped and talked to me, and that's when she told me that her son got shot and killed here in Little Rock. Now, here in Little Rock, we have a really bad problem with crime, okay? But a lot of the crimes committed here in Little Rock are, well, I'm trying to say this without being like racist. Little Rock is a predominantly black city, okay? A lot of African American people live here. And back in the 80s and the 90s, Crips and the Bloods were heavy here in Little Rock. There's a whole documentary on HBO. You can look it up. It's called Bangin' in Little Rock, okay? So we've always had like a really high crime rate per capita. Well, one of the things that we struggle with here is police shooting and killing people that they shouldn't shoot and kill, black, white, Hispanic, I don't know. But let me share with you guys what happened to her son. And I don't like to get into this kind of stuff because it's like really kind of political, but it's sad because I know her son. His name was Bradley. I knew him in real life. Bradley was struggling with his addiction, all right? Miss Kim didn't get sober until she was until she was like in her late 40s. And so her kids saw her in her active crack addiction, all right? And her son Bradley ended up having an addiction too, okay? And he was driving a stolen vehicle, and he was high on methamphetamine. And their vehicle got pulled over, and he had a passenger, a white girl. And the white girl got out of the car and got on the ground, but Bradley wouldn't get out of the car. Bradley barely even, he was like maybe inching forward, and the police officer shot him like 17 times in the chest. All right. And he died. Okay. So he died. Yes, he should have got out of the car. Yes, he should have listened to the police officer. Yes, he should have done all that stuff. Right. But I want you guys to think back to when you were in active addiction. All right. How many times did you run from the police? How many times did you not listen when they were telling you to stop? All right. So they didn't just shoot him and disable him. They shot this kid 17 times. They shot him dead. So it was this huge, huge thing here in Little Rock. They were protesting. The African American people of our city were protesting against the white cop who shot Bradley. Okay. Well, I'll tell y'all this. The guy ended up losing his job. The police officer did. And rightfully so. Like, he could have just shot him in the leg or the arm, or shoot, he could have just shot him one time, but he opened fire on him and didn't stop. So when I saw Miss Kim in Walmart, she told me what happened because I didn't know. I don't watch the news. I try to stay out of that news stuff because it makes me sad. And I just remember she looked broken. And this is a woman, you guys, like, I look up to her. Like, she's got strong recovery, She was one of the only people that believed in me when I kept relapsing in the treatment center. She was one of the only people that kept on telling them, give her another chance, give her another chance. She saved my ass one time because me and my friend Trevor, this guy I was hooking up with, rehab romances, we were living in the halfway house, you guys, and we decided we were going to take a weekend pass and go to a hotel room and get it on all night. Well, Trevor didn't tell me that he was relapsing on cocaine that night either. So I got to the hotel room after he got there, and we were getting it on. And we started kissing each other. And I remember kissing him, and my whole mouth went numb. It was bitter, and my whole mouth went numb. Right then, I knew that he was doing cocaine. Did you know that if a guy kisses you and eats you out while they have cocaine draining down their nose, that you'll test positive for cocaine the next day, even if you didn't do it yourself? Did you know that? True story. So the next day we showed up. It was like a Saturday or a Sunday, and the counselors, Angel, it's true. The counselors were drug testing everybody because they knew that we had been at the hotel. Well, they gave me a drug test, and I popped positive for cocaine. I swear on my mom that I did not snort cocaine, you guys. I swear to God. I swear. I begged. I was like, please, please do not kick me out. I swear I did not do it. True story. I tested positive for cocaine and almost got thrown out of treatment. But thank God, like, I don't know, they trusted me. Y'all, listen, if I relapsed, I've never been a person to be like, no, I'm not, like, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm high as hell, or I just wouldn't come back. Like, I was so thankful for the opportunity to be in those rehabs and those halfway houses that I just wouldn't come back. Okay? I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go back. If I got high and relapsed, I would leave the center and just not come back. Last time the cop shot, I tested positive for coke and H. It was crazy, you guys. It was crazy. So anyway, I know that's probably a story that y'all didn't need to hear. Sorry. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. So anyway, step 2, let's wrap it up. Came to believe. Y'all got the deal. I just wanted to come on here and do that with y'all and let you guys know how much I care about you. And I hope everyone is having an amazing, amazing Monday. We started the week out strong. We got a good start to the week. We got our recovery started out tomorrow. I think I'm going on Jeff's channel tomorrow, you guys. So I will let you guys know as soon as I find out what time, I will let y'all know in the community tab, or I will upload a video and say, hey guys, I'm going on Jeff's channel. And then Wednesday, we have Kayla coming on for part 3. So if you didn't know, Kayla's been on my channel before. Okay, if you want to find all the interviews I do with people, go to the playlist section of my videos, you guys, and look for interviews. Chrissy, I need you guys to know that if you are out with a guy who is relapsing and he is snorting lines, do not kiss him and do not let him go down south. Y'all feel me, ladies? I just don't think you guys can understand. I started crying my eyes out the minute we were kissing, we were making out, and all of a sudden I was like, and my whole face, just imagine the look of horror, because I had just paroled out from prison. I knew that I had 6 months on parole. I knew that if I got revoked on that parole, it was going to be problems. See, I walked out my parole and got off parole, and then I relapsed. So I was on parole for 6 months, and then I relapsed 3 months after that. Merc, it's isn't that crazy? Oh Lord. Anyways, if you can always get little tidbits of information here at Real Talk Recovery to help you stay on the straight and narrow. So, guys, I'll ask my husband if he has any special tips and tricks for you guys later. When I was high, you guys, you know when you meet somebody and your kisses just match up. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Like you're kissing and it's just like it's like mad chemistry. You know what I mean? Like it feels like you're like kissing, but it really feels like really good, you know. And so that's how this guy Trevor was. Like we just had like we had really hot and heavy chemistry. Little boy, what are you doing over here? Are you eavesdropping?
Mom,
What?
where's the charger on it?
Oh, it's on the ground by the TV upstairs, by where I was sitting watching TV.
What are you doing,
Jail. Anyway, I love you guys. I'm gonna get off here so that way this one's a short one. So, came to believe that a power greater than me could restore me to sanity. I want all of you guys to ask yourselves, do I believe that Nicole believes that I can do this? Okay, do I believe that Nicole believes that I can get restored to sanity? And if the answer is yes, then we're on the right path.
Is it J-L or J-E?
J-A.
Okay, J-A.
All right, you guys. Good night. I love y'all.
Jailbreak.
J-A.
You do it.
Yes, sir. My phone has literally got 5%, Alexander.
Mom, could you put it on the charger then? Did you say jailbreak?
Bye, you guys.